Hey guys, what's going on? We just got the last hero talents for shamans, the Totemic talent tree, and I've already gone over these, and it looks quite insane right now. Um, it's actually pretty cool looking, and a lot of things have been introduced that I was not expecting at all, and some were pretty cool and nice. Kind of quality of life changes too. So let's get into this. So the first part is an ability. So it is a bit of a shame that it's an ability, but I mean it's a totem, right? So let's read what it says. For Resto Shamans, summons a totem at your feet that immediately and every 5 seconds casts Healing Rain within 30 yards. Where allies are present, healing for 30% more than a normal Healing Rain. Lasts 20 seconds. So every 5 seconds, it blasts a big Healing Rain thing. I don't know. It kind of sounds weird, but it sounds like it's just a totem that basically puts down an almost permanent Healing Rain, and it does 30% more healing. That's pretty cool. As for enhancement, don't mind the elemental part. I think it's just a DPS type of thing. But for enhancement, summons a totem at your feet that creates a tremor immediately and every 5 seconds within 30 yards where enemies are present for 400% attack power, dealing physical damage reduced beyond 5 targets. So we got that uncapped AoE that we've always been wanting. It's kind of nice. But also a secondary passive is replaces Wind Fury Totem. Passive, your Wind Fury Totem enchant grants the effects of Wind Fury Totem to nearby party. Wait, oh, I read that wrong the first time. That's crazy. But you still need Wind Fury Totem. Your Wind Fury weapon enchant grants the effects of Wind Fury to nearby party members within 30 yards. So what that means is Wind Fury Totem is, I don't know if it's needed, but I'm going to assume you need to talent into it, so it's going to be kind of like a must-have type of thing. It's also looking like, with the way this is going, it kind of looks like Totemic is going to be the best scenario, but we'll see how things play out. But anyways, let's get on to the next part. We have Totemic Rebound. Storm Strike has a chance to unleash a Surging Bolt at your Surging Totem, increasing the totem's damage by 10% and then redirecting the bolt to your target for nature damage. The damage bonus effect can stack. So what it sounds like is the more you Storm Strike, the more chances you have to cast like a nature bolt at your target, dealing damage while your totem is active, and it's constantly increasing and increasing. So this works really, really well with the Storm build. Now, I know they are doing a talent rework with enhancement, so we'll have to see what comes with that. But yeah, with the Storm build, that sounds pretty darn cool. On to the next one, we got Amplification Core. While Surging Totem is active, your damage and healing done is increased by 3%, so just a nice little buff there. And then while Oversurge is while Ascendance is active, Surging Totem is 150% more effective. This is quite interesting. We'll have to see how Ascendance plays out, but basically, I believe the Searching Totem will have an almost 100% uptime, maybe. It doesn't say how long it lasts for enhancement, but for restoration, it says it lasts 20 seconds. So you have to keep replacing it and replacing it and replacing it, but you should have it up almost permanently. It seems kind of weird that way, but we'll have to see what else plays into effect here. But yeah, if Ascendance is up, that synergizes really well with Storm. And also just having a 3% damage increase is also really nice in the other sense. It's just a nice passive, not relying on any proc or cooldown or anything, just a general 3% buff. I really like that. It's kind of odd though that they put that in there. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Second one is Lava Lash has a chance to summon a Searing Totem to attack a nearby target. So this is quite interesting. Just a passive, maybe I'm hoping an untargetable totem. That would be really cool. The reason why is because it would probably summon with 5 health and get completely blasted. That wouldn't be too much fun, but if it does have HP or if it can't be targeted at all, just 8 seconds of this thing blasting something is kind of great. Obviously, no idea how much damage it does. I don't have the alpha. I really wish I did, but that sounds really cool. Bringing Searing Totem back is kind of awesome. So it's nice to see that. Anyways, onto the talent below it. Frost shocks empowered by Hailstorm and Fire Nova cause your Searing Totems to shoot a volley of fireballs up to 5 nearby enemies. So this is very interesting to me. One, you're dealing with a proc chance, and then you have kind of like a guarantee effect in that proc chance, which is quite interesting. You can definitely land a hailstorm, and it doesn't even say it has to have X amount of stacks either. You can just proc, let's say 5 maelstrom or even 1 maelstrom if you really want to talk about that. But and then just proc a hailstorm and you can fire that off. So that's quite interesting. Obviously, depending on how much damage the Searing Totem does, this could do quite a lot of damage, and that'd be really, really cool. I really like this synergy. But on to the other one. This center one seems more like a defense module or like a utility maybe type of thing. I don't know. But if you have a totem active, your totems grant you a shield absorbing damage for 30 seconds every 30 seconds. This is honestly great. It's a very nice defense, although it isn't a percentage reduction or anything like that. And we don't exactly know how much it's going to absorb, but just the idea of having something give us an absorb shield, kind of like the Stoneclaw glyph back in, I think it was brought in BC maybe, or yeah, I think it was BC. Or maybe no, it was Wrath. When you drop your Stoneclaw, you get a giant shield based on its health. But Stoneclaw totem also had a lot of health because it was a taunting style totem. So I really like that they're bringing the idea back, but also kind of having it so any totem does it for you. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but it sounds like we're going to have a totem active no matter what. So it'll just be every 30 seconds you're generating a shield, and it replaces itself as well. So we'll have to see how much that's absorbing, but so far I do like it. I really do like it. This is kind of crazy. Anyways, on to the next one. We have oversized totems. Increases the size and radius of totems by 15% and the health of your totems by 30%. This is something that I really like. Just gaining a bit of extra health, although totems don't have all that much HP. 30% might actually be enough to make it so they're not a one shot anymore. They might have to take 2 hits, or maybe hopefully 3, maybe depending on what they throw at it, or they have to shoot something heavier at it. For Resto Shaman specifically, Healing Tide Totem is not going to fall over to 2 hits or 3 hits or 3 heavy hits. They really have to focus it down now, which is great. I love to see that. Onto the second part of it is Swift Recall, successfully removing a harmful effect with Tremor Totem, Poison Cleansing Totem, or controlling an enemy with Capacitor Totem or Earth Grab Totem reduces the cooldown of the totem used by 5 seconds. Cannot occur more than once every 20 seconds per totem. This is quite interesting. It works just like our capacitor totem up here, where the static charge, based on how many targets it hits, it reduces its cooldown. I like seeing that come in for multiple totems, such as Poison Cleanse and Tremor, but also giving it to Earth Grab, allowing us to root people more and stuff like that. I really like that addition. It's going to be a hard choice to choose between Swift Recall and Oversized Totems. It definitely will be. But yeah, I really like these. They're really focused on the totem effect, and I love it. On to the next part, Imbuement Mastery increases the chance for Wind Fury weapon to trigger by 10% and increases its damage by 15%. This is quite awesome. I've been saying back to back to back that Wind Fury is very lackluster right now, even in the Storm build. It doesn't feel very doesn't feel very powerful. Like Wind Fury is definitely a staple of Enhancement Shaman, and you just don't really feel its power, especially in Elementalist. There was times where we didn't even take it and they had to buff it. But this is showing that they want us to use Wind Fury, and it becoming baseline also makes it very valuable too. So I do like seeing this buff. I'm really hoping that this will give it its edge to really show off. So yeah, on to the next part we have is Pulse Capacitor. Increases damage and healing of Surging Totem by 25%. This is really nice. It's just a passive buff to your totem. Nothing too fancy, no proc chance. The other one is increases this critical strike chance of Flame Tongue Totem, or Flame Tongue Weapon, sorry, by 15%, and its critical damage by 30%. This is very, very interesting. These two choices are quite tough to choose between. If Flame Tongue is doing a buttload of damage, then supportive imbuements is definitely going to be better. But at the same time, if Pulse Capacitor, or if your Surging Totem is doing a lot of damage, it's going to be prioritized, right? So it's really nice to see both of these talents being so aggressive, but at the same time is what's going to be better, because you're going to have 100% uptime on both of these. And what kind of talents are we going to be able to put behind Flame Tongue anyways to buff it even further? And is the Flame Tongue going to affect Lava Lash at all like that? So definitely very interesting. It might be more like supportive imbuements for single target, Pulse Capacitor for AoE, and stuff like that. So this is quite awesome. I really like to see this. On to the next one, we got Totemic Coordination. Increases the critical strike chance of Searing Totem's attack by 15% and its critical strike damage by 30%. So they're really focused on us doing critical damage. So to me, it feels like we're going kind of back to... so if you haven't seen yet in Cataclysm, all shamans have increased critical damage. So it kind of feels like they want to put that back in rather than just have it over at Elemental, which is quite nice. But the second part, Earth Surge, casting Sundering within 40 yards of your Surging Totem causes it to create a tremor at 200 effectiveness at the target area. This is kind of crazy. For an AoE effect that already did a massive amount of damage, Sundering used to be a huge part of Enhancement Shaman, but then our rotation or our priority list became too big that we couldn't quite fit it in there, and it wasn't worth taking anymore. So seeing this, bringing Sundering back is great, and adding an even more powerful effect to it just causes it to explode even more damage. I love the idea of this. This is great. And it might even be super good as single target. But again, we'll have to see what Searing Totem's going to do, because if they're buffing it by 15% and then 30% critical damage, or sorry, 15% crit chance and then 30% critical damage, we'll really have to see, because it sounds like they want to make it do some mad damage. But on to the final talent. This one is kind of a weird one. So yeah, elemental motes orbit around your Surging Totem. Your abilities consume the motes for enhanced effects. So the first mote is going to be air. Your next Storm Strike or Wind Strike deals 25% increased damage and damages one nearby enemy at 75% effectiveness. This is pretty great. It really pushes towards Storm, this part at least. And it gives you a minor cleave effect, kind of like a Sweeping Strikes thing. Now, I'm really wondering how often we can trigger these. Is it only as we drop the totem down? Is it constantly, and that is it constantly orbiting, and every time you cast one of your spells, is it going to do this? I don't know, but either way, it's pretty cool. Seeing Storm Strike actually get some major buff, dealing a cleave effect and increasing damage is pretty great. So I'm super excited for that. On to the next one, we got Earth. Casting Sundering or Elemental Blast refunds 12 seconds from its cooldown. So basically, what this is saying is if you cast Sundering, you're going to pull off 12 seconds. But if you cast Elemental Blast, you're going to refund the entire cooldown. That's kind of insane. For one thing, Elemental Blast hits really, really hard right now. Now, it might not in War Within, but we'll have to see. So, if you can land, or if you can blast off, right now we can roughly get off 2 Elemental Blasts within our cooldowns, right? Within 3 Feral Spirits. But if we have this, we can get off 3 pretty darn fast. So, that's pretty cool to see. But for fire, for the fire effect, increases the critical strike chance of your next fire nova or lava lash by 15% and its critical damage by 30%. So that's really going to tie into a massive lava lash build. So for Enhancement Shaman, this is pretty freaking awesome. I love it all. It's really tying into the Totemic I don't even know what you call it anymore, but or Totemic Fantasy, and everything seems awesome. They're bringing back Searing Totem. They're really applying everything to bring in Sundering. They're giving some effects to Storm. They're really applying it to Elementalist. It's just all around great. I really love everything about it, and it's super, super aggressive. There's not many defense talents, which is kind of okay for me because we are getting this giant wind barrier, which is super exciting. But yeah, I am super excited. I really love the way it looks out, and I can't wait to try it out. I really wish I had alpha. But let's check it out for Resto Shaman because I'm assuming some parts have changed. So let's see here. So for Resto Shaman, obviously that's a healing thing. So Chain Heal now jumps to nearby totem once it reaches its max target, causing it to bounce to an additional time to a nearby injured ally. So that's quite interesting. So it's basically generating 1 additional bounce. So it's going to hit, well, I think it's 6 targets now it's up to. So that's actually pretty awesome. I'm excited for that. That's pretty cool. I think that's great. Especially if you apply High Tide with it, where it doesn't drop anything, but we'll have to see what they implement, right? Onto this one, we have, okay, it's the same thing. Your Healing Tide Totem, Healing Stream Totem, Cloudburst Totem, Mana Tide Totem, Spirit Link Totem cast a free instant chain heal when you summon them. Oh, I really like that. So anytime you drop any form of healing totem, you cast a free chain heal. I wonder if it's untalented or anything like that, or if it'll consume High Tide, because that is huge. That's pretty damn cool. On top of that, it's bouncing to 6 targets. That's pretty crazy. Okay, on to the next one. That one's the same thing. Okay, if you have a totem, yeah, okay. Your healing spells cause your healing stream totems to heal a nearby ally immediately at 50% effectiveness. Cloudburst stores an additional 25% healing. Ooh, so oh wow, that is massive. Uh Holy. So every time you cast a healing spell, whether that's Riptide, possibly even Earth Shield, or your free, maybe your free chain heal, your healing stream is going to instantly tick for 50% on a random nearby ally. Possibly the most injured. Hopefully it's smart healing. But yeah, that is quite big. That's going to make healing stream massively, massively boosted now. So Cloudburst is currently the best option for PvE, but for PvP, obviously it is Healing Stream Totem. This is quite huge. This could put Healing Stream Totem up above. And even having double, you can tick twice. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. That's even more instant for Resto Shaman. That I am very interested in that. But on to the next part, we have chain heals from your totems are 30% more effective. Okay, that's pretty huge. Allies affected by your Earthen Wall, Ancestral Protection Totem, and Earth Living effect receive 10% increased healing from you. Okay, that's really emphasizing putting Earth Living weapon on your imbuement. Jesus, I don't know what I'm talking about, but anyways, Earth Living imbuement is going to be super big. Based on this, it's probably going to move to baseline. I can't imagine them implementing something where Earth loving is so effective and not have it baseline. So I really hope they do make it baseline because it is kind of like the staple of Resto Shaman, in my opinion, having that option. But on to the next part. Increases blah blah blah. Okay. Learn a new weapon imbuement. Tide Caller's Guard. Oh, so maybe it's not gonna. Okay. Can only be applied to shields. Increases your healing done by 2% and increases the duration of healing stream totem and cloudburst totem by 3%. Okay, so if you didn't notice by my tone, I have not seen the Resto Shaman side yet. I only checked out the enhancement side. This is crazy. We're actually going to imbue the shield and it's going to do something like that. This is, oh my god, I'm so excited for that. That's pretty darn cool. I really like that idea, and I wonder if there's going to be like a spell effect for it too or not. Oh, that's so exciting! I can't wait to see that. Anyways, on to the next one. We have increases the duration of Earth living effect by 6 seconds. Okay, so this is definitely making me think Earth living is going to become a baseline ability for Restoration Shaman, which I believe it should. But that is quite huge. An extra 6 seconds of Earth living plus all of its like talents and stuff. That could be pretty crazy. On to the final part. We have, the element orbit thingies. Anyways, you have water. Your next healing wave or healing surge also heals an ally inside your healing raid at 100% effectiveness. Wow. So basically, wow. You're going to be healing 2 targets with this massive healing wave. Mix that even with primordial wave, and you got like this huge chaos heal of craziness. Oh my god. I think that's quite massive. But on to air. The cast time of your next heal is reduced by 40%. Okay. That I kind of like. It's kind of implementing flash flood there. So I kind of like that. And then Earth, you have your next chain heal applies Earth living at 100. Wow. Earth living at 150% effectiveness to all targets hit. That's massive. So 6 targets are instantly going to get your Earth living at more than maximum effectiveness. That's crazy. If I have to say which one is more exciting, I have to say Resto Shaman looks pretty insane for this build. Totemic is looking like a freaking monster for just both of these specs. Oh my god. I actually am so excited. I had no idea what was going to come of it. I just had, okay, it's going to be about totems. I figured it was going to be like strength of the earth, buff your teammate and type of stuff. This is completely something I never. Yep, sorry, I whacked my mic. This is something I didn't even think about at all. Making like this massive burst totem. This reminds me of the Kyrian totem. I just thought of that. It just reminds me of the Kyrian totems. That's pretty cool that they brought it back. Now, if only they brought Chain Harvest back. Oh well. Anyways, this is pretty insane. If I had to give a winner between Stormbringer or Totemic or Farseer, I'm gonna give it to Totemic. I think Totemic is the coolest and possibly the best one so far. Obviously, we're gonna have to see what testing brings, but this is crazy. I am super excited for this, and I can't wait to try it out. But anyways, guys, please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I really like the way this is looking, so please let me know what you think. But that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you guys are excited for this as I am, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Laters!